What's up, guys, on YouTube? 206 Analysis here. Right after the post-fight speech with Henderson, let's get down to it. All right. The event definitely lived up to expectations. I will give it that. The fights were good. Great. There was a great comeback that could get comeback of the year. It's definitely not the greatest comeback ever because it will always be Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard. It'll always be. So, to the main card, I will just go with the main card. Anthony Pettis versus Joe Lauzon. First started out, just some good, some decent strikes from Lauzon, not where he wanted to be. After, a minute of just, not intense, really intense combat, Pettis just came out with this outstanding head kick. The head kick knocked Lauzon out, and Lauzon was just out. It wasn't. I'm thinking that Melvin Goulard's probably thanked Anthony Pettis for that, for avenging his loss. And geez, that could get knockout of the night. That could get knockout of the night. There were some pretty good knockouts, but that could get knockout of the night. It's either Zhang Tiquan versus Issei Tamura, which both those knockouts were great. Both those knockouts were just amazing. They were the perfect way to start the event off. The great way to start out the prelims with that knockout, and a great way to start the main card with Anthony Pettis' knockout. Definitely a great knockout, could be knockout of the night. It's a contest between the two. I think Dana might give it to Zhang due to the fact that he's a lot since he's not, he's not more of a noticed fighter. He's probably going to give it to him, just to give him more credibility, or not to Zhang, Tamura, to give him more credibility. Just don't get him the attention. That's what I think is going to be going on. All right, Hatsu Hioki versus Bart Palaszewski. I hate that guy's name. Fight was just hioki. Hioki really, it was really a ground fight. Really on the ground. Palaszewski, I could see him winning. I saw him winning one round, and that was the second round. And with his striking, he didn't win. I think he won the second round. And really, Hioki just stole that fight with his grappling, and just continuously getting him to those just passing his guard, really getting on getting a lot of advantages on the ground. And big props to Palaszewski to getting out of all of Hatsu Hioki's submissions. Those submissions were perfect. They were tight. I would see most other featherweights tapping out to that. So big props to Bart. You have a lot of heart there. You had a great fight. Okay, Yushin Okami versus Tim Boetsch. This was too amazing. I was speechless after this one. Yushin Okami dominated the first two rounds with his ground game. Tim Boetsch just looked beat up during this fight. He looked just really beat up. And in the third round, Tim Boetsch just starts attacking him. He gets him on the cage. He hits him with two great dirty boxing uppercuts, knocks Yushin Okami down, and swarms in and gets the TKO, might be the comeback of the year. Great comeback, not better than Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard, but it's probably in the top three. I'd say it was Frankie Edgar's number one. Second one is that one, and the third one has got to be Mike Russo versus Todd Duffy. All right, now to the welterweight bout with Sexyama. I love Surfer Ken Lai for doing all those Sexyama jokes. So if you're watching this, thank you very much for those Sexyama jokes. They made my day. All right, Yoshihiro Akiyama versus Jake Shields. The fight Akiyama looked great at welterweight. He looked better than he did at middleweight in his fights with the UFC. Honestly, he's literally 0-5 in the UFC because he didn't win against Alan Belcher. I don't know if he's going to be cut. I hope he doesn't get cut because I think he should deserve another shot at welterweight because he did a great job against Shields. He defended almost all his takedowns, even in these really awkward positions that most men, you know, like the strong double leg takedowns that Jake normally possesses. Yoshihiro was able to defend a lot of them, and also Yoshihiro did some sick takedowns, some pretty sick takedowns. Not as good as Randleman on Fedor, but these were sick. All he would just, he would lead in with probably a jab or a cross, and then right as Jake would defend, he would trip him. Quick trip, you wouldn't even see it coming. That's how great this takedown was. He had two of those takedowns, and Akiyama, I think he still got it after this fight. I thought you were done for this fight, but you still have it. Jake Shields, he tried his best. He did okay. He did okay on the stand up. I think he definitely won the fight. He definitely won the fight with his grappling. Not with his grappling, his striking. He landed him over. He landed twice as many strikes as Akiyama. He really utilized the leg kick, and I think he did it. He's improving his stand up, but he needs to stick to the ground. But for this fight, he did a great job at kind of evolving himself to a new way of fighting, and that's standing up, which we've seen him not do so well. All right, next fight: Mark Hunt versus Czech Congo. I was going with Hunt for this fight. Hunt, he started out, he fell over. He he fell over, and after the first punch, and I thought he may be done because Congo could just swarm him, but he got out of that and was able to beat Congo. He was able to beat Congo to the punch. He was able to drop him twice and then drop him twice to knock him out. Not to knock him, just to get the TKO. And in the post-fight interview, he sounded stoned. He sounded really fucking stoned. He just simple answers. Like his sentences were completely horribly structured, and he just I hope he doesn't test positive for marijuana, because that was then they would have to take that. They would overturn the law, overturn the win. They'd make it a no contest, and that'd just be horrible for Mark Hunt, because Mark Hunt is a great fighter. He's still kicking ass. He's doing very well in this new organization. Not as good. This organization is not as good as Pride organization, which he had trouble in, but he still had some good fights. He's had some good fights, and he did really well tonight. I'll give him that. All right, now to the co-main event and the biggest fucking letdown of the whole fight: Quentin Rampage Jackson versus Ryan Bader. Seriously, Rampage Jackson comes out in this promo talking in Japanese and saying, "I'm going to kick your ass." He comes out saying, "I'm bringing back the Rampage spirit. I'm coming back with Pride Rampage." And then he comes out with his entrance with the Pride theme, makes us all even more hyped up that he's going to do a lot of damage. He's going to win this fight. And he goes out, he gasses by the fucking first round. What the fuck? Seriously. What the fuck? He gasses out in the first round. He gets taken down, and he just gets laid on top. He gets laid on top for 3 rounds. But he did do one thing. He did do one thing that Pride Quentin Rampage Jackson had, and that was the slam. He slammed Vader on his head and looked like he almost broke his arm. But it wasn't enough, and Rampage Jackson came back, and we all know Quentin Jackson. He comes and just gets paid. That's all he likes to do, is just go to the fight and get paid. That's all he's fucking doing now. And I hope he retires, and I hope he gets the fuck out, because that's just a disappointment. I'm gonna get dislikes for this video, but I don't give a fuck, because he really fucking let all MMA fans down. He let all of us down. Also, yeah, he decides to come at 211, overweight. You've done pretty well at making weight. But for this fucking fight, you have to come at 211. You're really, really not helping yourself, Quentin. You're not helping yourself with Dana. Dana's not gonna accept this. You're gonna probably get cut, and I hope you get cut. I'm a Quentin Jackson hater. I think I was a fan of him when I watched Pride back in the day, back in the dark ages. No, I'm joking, but he really just pissed me off tonight. Well, I hope he retires, and I hope this was his last fight. Okay, now to the main event, and it was a great fight. Frankie Edgar versus Benson Henderson. Frankie Edgar he got damaged. He got beat up. He got beat up just like, just damage wise. It didn't look like he got he didn't get the shit beat out of him, because I didn't think like, I don't think he got outclassed at all. I thought Frankie Edgar gave a good fight to Benson Henderson. I had it 3-2 3-2 Henderson, but there's going to be a lot of controversy for this fight. There is going to be a lot of controversy, most definitely. So, we can't do anything, but we can't. I don't even know how this is going to turn out, but tomorrow we'll see. So here's just to reflect on Benson Henderson. I'm glad. The thing is, why I'm very glad he won is because he's a Washington native. I love my Washington fighters. He grew up in Federal Way, Washington. Graduated in Federal Way. He graduated in Washington, in high school in Washington. He didn't graduate college, but he went off and didn't do this shit. But I'm glad to see another Washington State fighter gets another win. He's not fighting out of Washington, but he does have, how can I say this? He has Washingtonian blood in him, which I'm very glad. All right, I'm out of here. Check out my Twitter. I tried my best for live tweeting fights. I was able to live tweet up to the Quinton Rampage Jackson fight, to Rampage and Ryan Bader. The second round, the live stream stopped. Didn't really watch much of the third round, and there's too much acting going on in the Frankie Edgar fight. Frankie Edgar and Benson Henderson fight. I just couldn't tweet. All right, I'm out of here. Peace out. Subscribe. Do whatever the fuck you want. Check out my Twitter out in the description below, and I'll see you guys later. I'll be on the Science of Violence radio show tomorrow, and I hope that you guys call in. I'll leave the call-in number. You guys can call in, talk with me and Chris, and I guess this is goodbye. All right, peace.